Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Please continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. I got a couple more holiday events to go to, and I kind of learned the cheat code of these events. So I learned to try to build as much good rapport as I can with the leaders of these events because obviously the leaders know the most people. Part of the reason, part of the reason you guys saw the videos that I shot with my new girlfriend. I shot two of them last week. I met her through a friend at my local church. He also heads a meetup group, and I had good rapport with him, and he set me up on the blind date. And I really need to cut in line into that blind date because it is so difficult for me at a Christmas party or at a any sort of event like that to talk to anybody. Yesterday, I went to a Christmas party at the student union, and I was there for 4 or 5 hours, and I I might have said more than 10 words, but people probably only heard about 10 words of what I said before I got interrupted. And mind you, this is only a party of about 15 people. It's not like it was hundreds and hundreds of people where that would be be expected, right? And but the head of a meetup group kind of has some obligation to listen to you, right? After all, they're heading a meetup group, right? And that's when you can get in a good number of sentences, especially the concept that you would like for them to set you up on a blind date, right? Good luck trying to say that to another member of the meetup group, or good luck even trying to ask out another member of the meetup group, right? And also, the head of the meetup group is likely to know who would be inclined to be dating, right? So that's a little bit of a cheat code that I learned. Number one, well, three things. Number one, to dress to impress, right? So that you stick out, and the head of the meetup group will actually be inclined to talk to you. Number one, do that. Number two, well, my favorite food now that makes me smell attractive, right? Especially if the head is also female and she smells the attractiveness. Maybe she might not be interested in dating, but she'll want to hook up her friend with somebody who smells attractive, right? And number three, to just head for the top, right? That's kind of been my cheat code, and also the rewarder. Especially, I learned that my first reward wasn't that good of a choice. Actually, I've learned to give a reward that, again, impresses, right? But you know what? The first reward that I gave, the 1 kilogram silver bar, the guy needed it anyway. He's in his 40s and has no idea what silver is. So that was great. That was great. I'm so glad I gave it away and introduced him to the concept of investing in precious metals. And I think he learned about mining stocks. And right now, mining stocks are a bargain right now because uh, precious metal prices have recovered, but mining stocks have barely taken off, right? So that was good. But part of the reason I love investing in metals, precious and otherwise, is my own situation. You see, I have a hard time communicating with others, and the idea of not being able to say 10 words at a social event isn't limited to just social events. I have that problem at the workplace as well. I'll go to a meeting, I'll have an idea. The idea might take 50 words to express, right? That's not unusual, especially if you work with math, computer science. And I get 10 words out there and my voice gets completely drowned out. And I give up because, after all, I don't want to scream at a workplace meeting. I was just watching a movie, or actually, this movie I've known for a long time, but I always return to this scene. back in the 1980s when the AIDS pandemic first broke out, there was a lot of discussion on where it was coming from. And this one scientist, his name is Don Francis, knew that people were at risk of getting AIDS from blood transfusions. And he suggested one way you could reduce the risk was he knew that AIDS often uh, came with hepatitis B, and he suggested we needed to start testing our blood supply for the antibodies to hepatitis B, because often people would get both AIDS and Hep B. They would recover from the Hep B, but they would still have antibodies. And he thought that was a good way to screen out at least some people who had AIDS, because those two viruses often traveled together, right? And nobody wanted to listen to him. And he pounded his fist on the table, saying, "How many people need to die before you listen?" See, I need to do that more at the office. I don't have the nerve to pound the table at the office, right, when I have great ideas. And long story short, Don Francis, he's relatively famous now. It's not like he lost his job from pounding the table. At the time, he might have been questioned, but a lot of times I don't pound the table. The idea doesn't get across. Eventually, I'll go back to my desk and implement the idea, but I won't get the credit for it. And that's part of the reason that I haven't risen the ranks as much as I could have at work. Right? And part of the reason I love investing in precious metals is that eventually I hope society goes in a post-scarcity direction where I no longer have to rise the ranks, right? I'll just do what I love, right? But if it doesn't, precious metals will do good in that environment, right? So I've kind of bought the one investment that will hedge against the scenario that I fear the most, right? That we don't go into this post-scarcity environment, right? That's why I love precious metals, not because I think it will do better than anything else, but because it's the one thing that fills the gap of how I best